certainly, and again, this is only my opinion. It's probably not a horrible day of all days to take a little bit of profit on silver game. I mean, certainly at this point, you spread it around. I mean, certainly you want to make sure you have some kind of exposure across the board, maybe not just specific currencies, but having a name like this does make some sense. But at these prices, even selling a little bit to take some profit makes some sense to me, Reddit.
Okay, let's talk about a few little ones. There's Ocugen that's moving around this morning, big mover in the pre-market. Keep in mind, this thing has been on a tear over the past few sessions. Just 4 or 5 days ago, this thing was $1. We're at 9.50 this morning. So huge move up on Friday. We're extending that this morning. To me, this has to go red, so below 8. If it does get below 8, we see these kind of levels from aftermarket Friday. A lot of volume, a lot of attention on this, so be careful. If we do start to hold above this 9, expect the highs to be tested, 950, and then above that, I mean, sky's the limit, guys, for OCGN. Feels pretty strong so far.
Yeah, to say the least. I can tell you, I was shorting this one when it broke that 850, and then shorting off of that level and right into $8, and it's just no chance. It just couldn't get there. It had a couple of really solid tests at that 8 even before rounding out to the top. So I'll be watching 915 to that 965 top area. The only way you'll see me probably short off that high is if you get like a 930 failure through that high of day, or at least testing towards that high of day. Just to update you, I did get into that naked branch position. I talked about that 124 and a quarter. Thankfully got this wick here for some of my shares, and then the rest of them down at 123. So that's how you get like a 124 quarter average price. It spiked down, able to give me some fills, 22, 21, and then 20. I have some more bids just in case we retest that 115 low. I'm just noticing AMC and no, GameStop is back below that 70 mark. So I was just about to cancel a bid when I saw the GameStop was back below 70 there. But it looks like a nice little scalp short so far on Naked Brands. So Ocugen and Naked Brands, both good starts for me this morning. Ocugen, like Brendan said, though, looking a little bit strong.
Okay, we took out, how much was this? Sorry, so we took 20 cents there.
All right, what's going on, guys?
I do this every time, right before 30 cents, 38 comes
We're back for another session again. So, yeah, I'm excited. We should have a really good stream. I'm happy to see what we have today going on in the markets. Display capture, come on.
I mean, again, we know this is going to happen. That's why we take some of that profit. You see, now,
Nope.
there's AMC, by the way.
Nope.
Palantir's not even on here right now, so that's what's coming on.
All right, cool. So, yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of volatility right now before the open, which is kind of strange. I'm not usually, it's not usual for me to see that. Like, for me and Russell, I took a trade on the Russell right over here. Let's go to the 1 minute. Yeah, so I took a quick scalp from right over here. Just a quick, I think it was like a 10 points, 10 points, 10 points of a profit right there. So yeah, I mean, like, it is what it is. Like, I didn't know, like, I know we were breaking out because of the liquid 50. Like, I love looking at the liquid 50 kind of setups where it just kind of reverses really hard and the momentum shifts back toward the upside. It provides really kind of significant risk to reward from right over here and like right over here. So yeah, I mean, so it was quick 10-point scalp toward the end, and as you can see here, it continued going up. Made about like $300 on that. So yeah, pretty good profit on that. So it just kind of like the liquid 50. Whenever the liquid 50 is doing this, like, I just know from just particular like strategies and setups that I know that this thing is gonna come up and shoot back up again. So that's exactly what it did. It bounced off that 50 level right over here as well, and then as well as the liquid 50 starting to come up, and then we just broke toward the high of day. So that's where I took my little breakout entries, scalp off that. But yeah, it was a good entry. I was risking a little bit aggressively on that, but I was that was because of how the momentum was showing me that I could definitely catch quick points in a matter of seconds. So I just quickly get it in and out of the markets and not really put myself too much too much positions in the markets for like a standard period of time, because I know the market opens. I knew the market opened soon, so that's why I wasn't really keen on holding it too bad. But yeah, I mean, it was a really good setup. You could see kind of little counter formations right over here. Like, you can put a wrist box right over here. You can do a risk box right there. Obviously the break of the 50, you can see divergence right there on the bottom. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, like for me in the market open, it's really something that you should always be careful with, because it can literally reverse really hard on you. I've seen it plenty of times whenever the market is bullish that these indices just reverse on you super hard. So for me, I stick to my plan, and I know these kind of strategies, and I know these kind of indices and how they play out. So I'm just gonna be really careful with them, and being observant on what exactly they're gonna do. Dow 30. So I'm looking at the Russell mainly today. Russell, Dow 30 as well. I don't like how like a 50 is falling at that. So Nasdaq will be something that I definitely like. And we just had the open right there. So we'll see what we do there on Nasdaq right over here. Go back to 2000. All right, cool. Looks like we're coming back down. The Russell. Dogecoin is actually coming back to 8 cents now. So I was expecting it to go back to the high, basically. And that's just because I've seen it many times, that kind of particular breakout patterns, where it just basically fails. I mean, where it basically just literally goes parabolic off that entry. But yeah, we're literally off the highs right now again. So we'll see what we do here in a second on Dogecoin. I know we're having kind of a little pump on cryptocurrency in general, just because of Tesla. Tesla announced that they're going to invest $1.4 billion into cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin. So, that kind of pumped the market fairly well. So we'll see what we do here. We're seeing kind of a collapsing dragon right over here, so we may take a little entry off here. Let's see. Yeah, we're still off that level right over here, so I'm not sure if taking that collapsing dragon as of yet. I know the 50 will make sense right there. But we'll see. To be honest, looking at Nasdaq and Dow Jones, it looks like it may want to come down later on the day, so you just have to be careful with that. Interesting. So we just saw kind of a fast rebound right there. So we just bounced off at 50, and now we're bouncing back up. I'm not taking no entries right there. I'm just gonna wait it out. Forex side, not looking at anything significant. Yeah, not really anything significant, to be honest. We were looking at UJ for a potential short, but the short is not presenting itself right now, so we're gonna have to wait it out. Oh, look at that momentum. And so currently, the only pair that I'm looking at right now is Euro JPY, and it looks really choppy right now. So I could just go ahead and try scalping it off the 50 level right over here. But we'll see what we do here. Like I said again, UJ. Oh shit, I did not see this. That's my bad. Oh, Nasdaq is fucking falling through the roof. Look at that. Jeez, we just fell down like 20 points right there. Yeah, I'm not trading that. It's too volatile for me. I don't know what exactly is gonna happen. This is easily, sometimes I scalp it off the open, but it's risky. Obviously, whenever you scalp it off the open, you're that's one of the riskiest plays out there. So, for me, I mean, it looks like a collapsing dragon entry, but I'm not taking this one. It's Monday. No need to be aggressive. I was up like 2%, I think, last week overall, which is kind of like my slowest month. I mean, the slowest week so far this year. That's just because I was really busy with the course, releasing it and everything, and I had drill this weekend, so I was just really busy. But yeah, we're just gonna take it easy for the month of February and see if any good setup presents. But what I was saying is UJ is literally falling down. So I have a bearish setup on this. So actually, it's already setup is presenting right now as we speak. So this is really interesting because I've been looking to short this since last Friday, where we kind of have like a head and shoulders. I wouldn't say it's like the perfect head and shoulders, but we kind of have a head and shoulders right there. And not only that, but if we go into the 1 daily, we're bouncing off the 200 EMA right over here. EMA's load up. We're bouncing off the 200 EMA, looking at the 4-hour chart. Oh, Nasdaq is just falling through the roof right now.
On XOM, check back on AMC. What are we doing there? It's 70, so not going yet on AMC, guys.
Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
and
dun.
just like GameStop back to $70 after hitting a 66 bottom, AMC sort of lagging a little bit. I thought there might be a little bit of weakness in that name. I didn't think there would be that much.
Interesting. So only the 5 daily chart and 4 daily chart, we're off some significant level. I thought we were off some. Yeah, we're off. Okay, I guess you could say we're off that. I swear we're off a level on the other time frames. Maybe I was tripping, but the one that was significant is the 1 daily chart, 200 EMA. And this is a really significant EMA. Last time we hit this was whenever the volatility was really a missed on the coronavirus. So I'm looking to short it for a swing trade right there. So entry frame will be on the 1 hour time frame. That's where I'm gonna take the general entry. But I am looking to kind of find like a tighter stop loss area, so I may go ahead and scale to the 1 minute time frame if a setup persists and presents itself. If not, then I'll take this as a kind of a bigger stop. But you know, we're making lower highs right over here, so I'll take it up right over here, toward this previous high right over here. I'll put my stop loss there, and then generally I'm looking for a target back to. I'll say like I'm fairly looking for a big rejection, so probably toward the 200 EMA or even toward full reset, which is the 4R right over here toward the 800 EMA. So that's gonna be my initial TP right there. I'm gonna just go ahead and put an alert right there and seeing what we do there. So I'm gonna pull an alert there. I'm gonna go short on that specific trade on UJ for a swing trade toward the downside. Fairly, I really want like a shorter stop loss just in case it goes wrong, so I could just reduce my risk basically, because I really whenever I swing trade I usually don't have a really big stop loss, but yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm looking at currently. UJ, we'll see what we do here on UJ. We'll take it short in a minute. 2000. Okay, so we're holding some support right over here, which is interesting. I'll be right back. I need to get my coffee from the door.
This is one of those things that's going to happen to you here. While I'm getting that LAIX, because I wanted to come back to the short side here from 490 or from 5 even. Disney makes this great.
All right, cool. So yeah, I knew that we were going to see a rejection on UJ. I was kind of surprised that we had it on pre-market, or I mean during Asian session, we were coming up. I was really surprised about that because I know we were rejecting a really significant level. So that usually means like a really hard rejection. Alright, shit. Alright. So yeah, we'll see what we do here. Looks like Russell. I don't know. I mean, Nasdaq is just choppy. I don't know if I'll be taking a trade on this right now. Looks like the Russell is bouncing off that level and coming back higher, which makes sense. I mean, the Russell is literally a freaking insanely, dude. Like Russell has been killing it. It's been killing all the indices so far for like the last even like 2 quarters and a half. So I mean, Russell's just been freaking killing it. Maybe I could trade it off the high right here, scalp it off the high.
Yeah, and we're gonna go back to naked brands by Cam for a second. We did get that last out on the market.
Or 2Y. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll scalp it off the high right over here real quick. Because I do like how that momentum persists. Nasdaq, we're trying to make like a lower high right there. Interesting. Dogecoin is coming back higher. We're at 8 cents now. So like right now, guys, on Dogecoin, this is a good buy. Like I can see it going higher. It's gonna break toward 9 cents in a second. I think like literally in the next hour we're gonna break 9 cents on Dogecoin. Let's see. I was looking at Euro JPY. We're a bit choppy on Euro JPY, so we'll see what we do there.
LiDAR company moving again this
Yeah,
morning.
we're really
Little session
choppy.
here, 13.5%. That's off the highs of all 13.46.
I'll just mark out the range real quick.
5 days now. Straight to the upside for MDIS.
All right. Yeah. So we just talked. I mean, Palantir is actually still going.
We're coming back high. I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick scalp right over here. I just took a quick scalp there. Now we're in profit instantly because that literally just spiked up. UJ coming back down.
Bitcoin's falling 43.5. So you can see the kind of action GBTC has done.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a scalp. I mean, not a scalp, but an entry on USAJPY. I'll be risking about 1% on that specific trade frame.
Sean, AMC did just break that 650. I'm scalping out of this rather aggressively because GameStop just bounced off of the high.
So yeah, I'll be taking about like 1%, maybe 1.5%, because usually on UJ I risk much more than my other kind of swing trades, just because I have a really good edge on UJ, and I know how it moves really well. So, and plus, like, I have a standard risk management system where I know when to get out, when to get in, and as well as lock my stop or break even. So even if if it doesn't hit 4R or 1, or even if it doesn't hit 2R, I'll still be able to get out of the markets and in general profit.
And it's looking at both of them, right? And then here goes Palantir. I mean, look, I'm still on this name. It's breaking through now 39, so I'm just going to keep on looking at this until it kind of fails me, and right now, it's not. So GameStop right now, whatever this is here, Palantir still going. We just took some out now to the high side, so a good little trade there. I apologize, I'm only looking at really one name here. NIO as well, 56.65, looking to make some bottoms here, 56.50. We talked about that with Mark Roberts saying, like, why is there no love back in Neil, but maybe we pick some up on the cheap side here through 56. I'm still watching this Bitcoin, man, still falling.
And there goes Ocugen. It looked like it was a bit of an iceberg order. I thought maybe it was going to halt on me. 11 break, and then I just saw like all kinds of iceberg order at 11:35 there. So I ended up taking like 30 cents out, and of course it's still going. So Ocugen, good break at 10. Seems like it's might be just as good at $11 as well. And I know we're just focusing on a couple of names here, but Ocugen off to the races, Brennan.
Guys, some of the airlines popping up here with some strength coming through. Delta to offer vaccines to employees 65 and over. Okay, I'll keep reading here, but DAL 3%
All right, cool.
straight to the upside so far, 41.40 to 42.40 for Delta.
Let's see if there's anything that's acting like, okay, so after you're right now, let's go to CGC. We talked about Batman, it's on New York, it's on NASDAQ now.
All right, so I just took that short right now. Looks like Russell is continuing on making a high right over here. I mean Russell, yeah. So yeah, we're taking some scalps right over here. I'm still holding, so should be a relatively cool, good entry right over here. So yeah, I got in literally at the bottom right over here. Freaking at the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and get out right over here real quick. Actually, I'm waiting, yeah. I just got out right there. Alrighty, so I lost a little bit in profit right there. I'm just scalping it. I'm just getting in and out really quick. Bounce off the Bollinger Band mean right over here on the scalping. Scalping right over here, and then I took it on the momentum break off the 50 right over here. I knew generally once we're, we on the market open, whenever it comes down, we're relatively going to see really strong momentum back up. So I took it as a, I guess you could say, both a scalping entry and both an owl entry. So this would be the risk box right over here. Looks like UJ's coming back down. Interesting. So looking at the TDI and MACD, they're coming back up. So that's a really good sign on a continuous move back to the upside. Nasdaq 100's coming back up again, just like the Russell. Interesting. So we may take an owl entry here for a day trade. I'm up like $400 for the day right over here. So I was up $600, almost $700, but I literally just I lost some profit as it came down on Russell.
Just to see how far we can go down. I mean, obviously, this is a pure momentum play. You have seen the stock base out recently, so you gotta watch to those Friday bottoms around that 60 with a ton of support down there. I would certainly take some out road. I'm not sitting here trying to hold it all day long. That's not the style of trade here. And doing that on GameStop, I think this is sometimes potential suicide. So gonna hang on to it. Hopefully,
This is suicide.
Order filled. I'll be very, very happy with that return. The AMC also broke down through 650.
All right, so I'm gonna go over basically right now, as we're waiting on the Nasdaq right now. I'll keep an eye on the Nasdaq real quick, just because I may take an owl entry back toward the upside if it presents itself. Yeah, I like that. I think we're gonna chop for about an hour, and then we're gonna come back higher toward the day. So I do like the Russell actually. I mean the Nasdaq right over here for a day trade. We just bounce off the Dragon right over here. Yeah, I don't know. If I missed the entry, it is what it is. I'm already up in my daily goal, so I'm completely fine. But yeah, I'm gonna go over basically right now for the course members. Ooh, EJ's making a move higher. Interesting. See, I'm looking at so many things I completely missed this, but you can see here we have some kind of bullish divergence, so as price action is falling, RSI is rising. Right over here.
And essentially, like less than 1 minute, and then you're short at the bottom right at the open. I mean, I just want to get out of it almost as fast.
Sorry, I'm looking at Nasdaq. I'm debating if I what I should do here. If I should take an entry long. It looks bullish right over here. MACD's coming back up into summer. You know what? Yeah, we'll take a long here. I'm not trading it on the scalping account. I'm gonna go ahead and trade it on my MT4 account.
So no break of that price. I'd look to short something in the 40 to 50 range if I can, using that as my out. And then it's a hard stop. If it breaks that top, you're usually looking for another long break. And it's still a relatively strong stop, so keep that in mind.
Okay, yeah, I'm also getting out of Palantir right now. We talked about that a few times today. If you haven't noticed, Palantir, good stock for us here today, and for me especially. Well, I guess I don't think it's traded it yet.
Alright, sorry. I'm just looking at so many things right now. Air Russell's coming back up.
Not moving too much though. Space, another name. We looked at that 56 level. It looks like that's coming off just a little bit now. Space coming back down to $55, $58. I don't know. I don't know about space. Let's check out Apple right now as well. I mean, I'm trying to find some stocks that are really moving. The Nasdaq's not doing a hell of a lot. Like, look at Apple. What
I don't know.
can you do with this? I mean, picked up 135s maybe.
Yeah, I'm being really aggressive right now. So I'm gonna at least with this scalping right over here.
But not much happening at the same time. I mean, DraftKings. We can look at Tesla. I was waiting for that 900 break, but that didn't even happen yet either. So right now, stocks coming back. I'm actually going to cancel my 900 break on Tesla.
Yeah, and immediately, as good as it looked, for a split second on OCGN, is as fast as I'm getting out of that short. And I ended up not reversing to the long just because it was a little too crazy price action. And I saw a refresher at 12 even, and that's out 2 times 12 even is held. So I did get in when it looked like it was going to flush 1160, and then immediately out at 1180 or so. And then here you go. So this is what I'm talking. We got a plan of action. Had a hard stop there. Wanted to make sure that it would not break through.
Alright, I'm watching this real quick because I'm in a trade right over here, on day trade right over here.
Heck of a lot safer than holding the bag. I wanted to go back to it if I can, and we'll talk about Bitcoin before. But BlackBerry actually still showing some signs of weakness. It's now got a double bottom, however. So that same 1375 that I like for the breakdown, now looking like some support on BlackBerry. I'm still holding that GameStop short. It's about $1 or so in the money, but it has bounced a little bit as well. Brendan?
Order filled. Just popping up on
Okay.
headline.
We'll leave that at that. I have my stop right there. Okay, so it looks like it's bouncing right over here. Let me keep this right over here just in case. Because if it comes down, I'm gonna go ahead and get out at half my risk, so I don't lose like a full position sizing on that. But it looks like it is trying to continue going higher, so we'll see. Oh, anyway, so we're gonna go over basically We're gonna go over. Where's UJ? Oh, here we are. So we're gonna go over basically. You know, looking at your JPY, so we had bullish divergence right over here, so we just made a higher low right there. It's bouncing off a significant level right over here. So, you know, you could have taken fairly kind of short entry right over here.
It looks like it's trying to halt. I mean, it might halt to the upside right here if it cannot reverse off of this current high at 1382. So you heard a couple of us say that it was a relatively strong stock.
So if you took this entry down here,
potential reverse here on Ocugen, but I didn't get my order out. I was too busy making sure I got out of my short.
you would have made about about 1R on that specific entry. So you just have to be really careful on that, especially because there's not a lot of risk to reward. You have like the 800 EMA right over here in the way, right? And then you also have the 200 EMA in the way. So you know those are levels right there. So that's something you definitely have to be careful with, because you know eventually it could bounce off that, and that's exactly what it did. It chopped its way around, but as we talked about in the course, what do EMAs like to do, right? What are the primary things that EMAs love to do? They love to break out. They love to trend, right? So you can see here that the EMAs are kind of just ranging, or just in a kind of a bundle, right? So relatively, you know they're gonna break out, because you know that again EMAs like to trend. Alright, looks like Nasdaq is coming back down, so I'm about to get out right now.
I'm sort of kicking myself because we did. I did mention Apple through the.
Yeah, I just got out right now.
My first look is make momentum short on Apple.
I got out at about 0.5 or.
136 has come to the downside.
Oh, it's not that bad.
I'm still just hanging on to LAIX and GME. LAIX, and apologies for not coming back to this name a little bit earlier, it's just not doing much. It's range bound off that 5 break. I mean, I like the fact that it tried to break through 5.
It's not that bad. I'm not down too much.
I'm usually gonna add.
I'm actually fine with that.
I just got a first profit take in front of 475. I'll add another one down around that same price, and then hopefully looking for a flush back to Friday's close was at 410. That is as good a target as any, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, agreed. And okay, we're trying to trade a few different names here as we go. So
I'm cool. I'm actually cool right now. So right now I'll wait on my entry. I got out early, so I'm down literally about less than a 0.25%. So I'm actually cool with that, because you know, right now I just took a scalp on the Russell right over here. I've been scalping Russell, so now I'm up $605 for the day. So I'm chilling. I'm actually I hit my goal already, so I'm chilling on that. I just, you know, I bought here, I closed here, I bought here, and then I closed here. You can see the scalps here on the 15 seconds. So I'm actually chill. Like I'm down 0.25%. But it is choppy on the Russell, so I'll give it that. So just like Friday and Thursday, if you guys were on the stream, just really kind of choppy, and you have to be really kind of decisive on your entries. And usually, you know, later on it goes your direction. So I'm just gonna wait it out on Nasdaq, because it looks like it is chopping around. So I'm only down a 0.25%, which is nothing in my account. So on my MT4 account. So I'm gonna go ahead and look for an entry later on the day, which I relatively think that it will go up eventually toward the rest of the day. It's just choppy right now. Anyway, so yeah, we're talking about EMAs. They love to range right now. I mean, they love to break out. So you can see here kind of another, like, you can get 1R right over here, and then you can get a really tight stop loss right over here for a level 1 reset. Either off right over here, and then you would have fairly gotten about 3R right there fairly easily. On entry, you have confirmations on both the MACD and TDI right there. So yeah, so you got fairly good entries right there. So it's actually a little bit closer right over here. So yeah, so right now you're looking for a level 2 toward the upside. So I may go ahead and maybe try scalping right over here on your JPY to see they're going to be off these levels right over here.
And then look for the next trade. Disney has not given the pullback I'm looking for. I'm not ignoring the stock altogether. I just wanted to see it actually come
But anyway, so what I was gonna say is, how can you tell whenever it's a hot market or really kind of just ranging market? So on forex is different, of course, than stocks and ETFs and futures, but I use an indicator, so it's called standard deviation, right? So what I do, what I do to basically look for, you know, when is the market high, when is the market cold, is I look at the standard deviation. So standard deviation is a measurement of volatility. So obviously, whenever the market's hot, you're going to see volatility. And whenever the market's cold, you're going to see less volatility, right? So I use an indicator called standard deviation, like I said again. Let's put this on. So looking at the daily chart, the higher the standard deviation is, the more volatile it's been, and the lower it is. So right now it's at fairly about 0.506. That's whenever you know that the market is quite slow and quite ranging. So relatively, like on forex, if it's below toward 0.6, it's just really choppy and it's really slow. So you could kind of see kind of the difference. Let me take the drawings out because I know it's a lot, but you could see here that let me just take this out so it doesn't. But right over here on the standard deviation, you can see how it flushes up here. So back in April, you can see how the standard deviation curve went all the way up, right? So which makes sense because that's whenever the market was really hot. We had a lot of volatility. Whenever there was, whenever there was like the coronavirus epidemic that was starting to happen. So you can see here from all the way toward November 2019. You can see how the standard deviation started to rise, right? You can see fairly good rises right over here, rising February, March. You can see how the coronavirus started impacting that. March, April, 20. Sorry guys, I'm just doing so many things right now. I'm gonna get in right now on the Nasdaq. We just made a higher low, so I'm getting in right now. From the actual high, it's a couple of bucks. If it tests below that 65 even, I'd love to see us go back a little low. If it holds this low at 63 half, I'm very likely to just get out of all of it, take the $4 and run GameStop. Anyway, so that's how you know whenever the market's hot, right? So you want whenever the standard deviation is above, fairly like 1. You can see here that how the standard deviation has been toward this kind of range, right? So you can see that above this level, that's whenever the volatility was insane, which makes sense again because that's whenever the coronavirus was literally at the tip, right? So right now you can see that the Euro JPY went back toward its mean reversion, or like back to the standard volatility that it's usually used to on like a daily basis before coronavirus. But you can see how it's been falling, right? Remember, it's been off the top and it's been falling. So you can see the lowest that it's been was about 0.294, and that's the lowest it's been since November 2019. So fairly really low, right? So maybe we could see a bounce back up to more higher volatility, right? Which could make sense, like since it's bouncing off this level right over 0.3309. But we're still fairly low right over here. We're still at right now. We're currently at 0.498. So I look at the daily chart because each candle is representing 1 day of data, right? So the daily chart is a really good kind of good time frame to use this kind of indicator because it shows you exactly how each day and each week presented itself with volatility, and you can see kind of like the normal day ranges, like if it's really kind of volatile, if it's really choppy, and etc. So you can see here from all the way from August to now, we've seen the market starting to get really just choppy on Euro JPY specifically. I'm not talking about all the other forex pairs. I'm talking about this specific forex pair, which is Euro JPY, right? So you can see here that it's still fairly low. It's trying to come back higher, but we're still at the low right now. So right now, Euro JPY, based on this indicator and based on the daily chart, it's not in a hot market. Fairly, it's at a you would say kind of a cold market, right? And you can see here in the daily charts that these candles are not even really big, right? You can see how these candles are they look choppy. They're not really kind of big volatile bars that you would expect, right? So that's what you would, that's what you know, that's where you would know, like, okay, so we're in a choppy market right now under Euro JPY. Let's look at USD JPY, right? So let's look at UJ. You could see big difference, right? So you can see how spike right over here back in, obviously coronavirus, but you could see how it started kind of coming down on the standard deviation, coming down. But right now we're seeing kind of a break higher on UJ, right? Which could be because of the dollar. We're seeing a lot of volatility on the dollar right now. So we're seeing a really high kind of incline. So we just literally broke out of the range on UJ from the past, you could say 6 months. We just passed that range, that kind of ranging cold market range, right? So right now we're basically coming into a hot market on UJ. So that's something to look for. Just looking at the standard deviation in the 1 daily chart, looking at like GBP USD, you could see literally like the opposite thing. So you could see how literally, look at GU. It's literally the volatility is just decreasing. I think we're at the lowest since about November. So about literally like a whole, what is it, like 2019? So what is that, like more than a year? So we're literally at a year's low of volatility right now on JP USD, which makes sense. You can clearly see at the daily candle how low volatile it is. So you can see how the candles are getting smaller, and it's just ranging right there. So that's something to look for. You can still see it, I'm pretty sure, because I just took it out.
Not so much. Once we did get to the open here, a little bit of selling. 875 back to 862, looking like it might want to test day lows, guys, for Tesla.
I feel like every now and then we talk about like getting exposure to other names.
Anyways,
several times we've mentioned GAN. A couple of times we've mentioned.
You can see that right over here. Looks like Russell is coming back down, so I need to wait. I need to look at this real quick. But anyway, so yeah, whenever the volatility is coming down, whenever the standard deviation line is coming back down, that's when again, where it's just, you're not looking for anything specifically. Like you're gonna be looking at really low volatility, really cold markets, really choppy kind of price action on the lower time frames. So that's something you have to be careful with specifically. So yeah, UJ clearly in a cold market right now. If you look at JPY on the daily chart, you can see how it's starting to rise, just like JPY, just like USD JPY. It's starting to rise again, right? So that's giving us kind of an indication that we're kind of transitioning from a cold market to a hot market, right? So we literally just broke out of the range from like I would say from like 2020 for just like a couple of months. So yeah, I mean, so right now we're looking at kind of a transitioning to kind of a hot market on GJ. I mean, it's still fairly low, but you can see how it's starting to rise right now, specifically on January. So that could be an indication, hey, we're transitioning to kind of maybe a hot market, but it's so cold. Currently, we're not seeing a lot of volatility right now. So we're not really in a hot market. It's transitioning into a hot market, but we're not really in a hot market at all. Looking at, let's just say, Euro USD. You can see how it's fairly been ranging right over here, ranging. You can see how it's literally still at the lows right now. Right now it's at 0.572, so it's literally at the mostly at the low. So you could say from this indicator, looking at the daily chart, that we're fairly in kind of a cold market. Right now, because we're at the lows. Now, whenever we saw this big push toward the upside on Euro USD, you could see how the volatility was really high, right? You can see how the volatility was literally spiking up, spiking down, spiking up, spiking down. So during this phase, you can clearly say that this is during a hot market. Whenever the market was hot, whenever we were seeing really good pushes on Euro USD. So yeah, that's basically how I identify cold markets and hot markets. I'll go over, I'll make a separate video on the course and go over everything about that with you guys for the course members. I had someone say that looking at Euro JBP. So this was not in my watch list. So let's just take a look at this. So something I didn't like about your JP was how the 800 EMA was in the way right there. But looking at the MACD, we're not like the MACD right now is in fall mode, so it's not really in a bullish mode. TL and TDI, right? The RSI and TL looks like Russell's coming back up. So the trade line and the RSI is literally coming back down. So that's a very bad sign if you're trying to look for buys. MACD is starting to come back down. Let's just look for let's just say a continuation move. So we could find a continuation move right over here, right? So if we scale down to the 1 minute time frame, we could look for kind of a buy scenario off this level, because we know again this is a universal level. So yeah, we'll see what we do here. I don't know if you were talking about shorts, if you were talking about like shorting it. The reason why I wouldn't short it on this particular trade, on this particular pair, is because of how the liquid 50 was starting to rise like that. Whenever you see kind of a big kind of V-shape formation on the liquid 50 right over here, that's fairly telling you that the momentum is reversing. Excuse me, momentum is reversing, and you're going to see a really kind of good push toward the upside. So that's a fairly kind of good indication that you're looking for a good momentum, good bullish momentum right there. Same with MACD. We saw like a little squeeze right over here. MACD came all the way down, right? So you can see a squeeze, Bollinger Band squeezed, and you can see kind of, you know, from winter all the way down to summer. So, you know, it came all the way down to winter right over here, and now it just flushed all the way back into summer. So that's a really strong, powerful kind of MACD move right there. So, I wouldn't short it. It's not like the perfect kind of, I would say perfect pair for shorts or for longs, but it definitely has that long bias, right? So if we look at the 1 minute, we could try looking for maybe an entry, right? So we have to wait still, because it still hasn't hit this level, and it's still not, you know, we still have no signal coming out yet. So you know, whenever it finally comes down at this specific level, then we can find and see if an entry signal presents right over here. So we'll check that out. What? Because of next. Anyway, so yeah, shit. I'm looking at two things at once. Okay, so I'm looking at Russell right now. So I'm still in the Nasdaq trade right over here. We're literally up almost 1R on this trade, so that's good. I completely failed on the Russell on continuing on at least holding a piece. I think I should have held a piece in, because I literally, come on, like I know how the Russell reacts, and like it's a really good kind of continuation move where it literally would just come higher for the rest of the day. So I should at least kept like a contract in. Nasdaq right now looks like it can continue higher. Like, look at this. We're seeing kind of a push back down. We were off a significant level right over here, right? So we bounced off the high right over here on, I think it was last Friday, right? So we bounced off, we rejected, we came all the way back up. So this is a significant level right over here. We came all the way back up, we rejected off the same significant level right over here, right? So same level, and now we're pushing back higher. So it was a bit choppy on the day, but you can see how liquid 50, something that I don't like is how the liquid 50 is still kind of falling. So kind of in a downtrend. So fairly, I'm looking for kind of a little V shape on the liquid 50, because that's gonna tell me that, hey, we're wanting to continue going higher. But right now, guys, we're literally up more than 1R on Nasdaq. So very good trade. You know, just basically waiting. I took a loss, a 1/4% of a loss, which is not even a lot, because I'm up like $605 on my scalping account, and that's way more money than a 1/4% on my MT4 account. But anyway, so yeah, we're up 1R right now. So yeah, good trade right there. Good day trade right there. So you can see kind of a scalping entry right over here. So it's coming off that same significant level right over here. Divergence. Apologize for not being too much on this standard system, just because I've been looking at like several things at once. But you can see divergence right over here comes up, right? So why wouldn't you take this entry right over here? Is because the TL and MACD confirmation is not there, right? So you will wait for TDI and MACD confirmation, and again a red or green move, or at least kind of a bullish engulfing candle formation. So comes up, comes down, makes a higher low right over here. Right, and now you can see how the TDI is starting to come back up, so you can formulate, okay, this is a kind of a bullish engulfing formation right over here, right? So comes down, bounces off that level from a red or green move, comes back up, like, okay, so looks like a really good bullish engulfing formation, so I can go ahead and try taking that long. And all you're waiting for right now is basically, okay, so are we having a TDI and MACD confirmation? TDI, yep, TDI is back into the buy zone. What about the MACD? So looking at the MACD right over here, you can see that it's still it's very, very, very close toward the summer season. So you can see here on the MACD, very, very freaking close to it. So you could say, okay, so it's really close to it. I know eventually it's going to come back up, because it's literally like about maybe less than a candle of a move until it comes back up to the summer mode. So you can go ahead and try to take that, right? And then on this trade frame, you would have gotten about maybe 3.7 R right there, 3.1 R, excuse me, on that specific candle formation. I know maybe you would have gotten stopped out right over here, which is fine, right? It's completely fine. But it's something that's really cool about this kind of signal is because it gives you a level 2, right? So this is the level 1, this is the level 2, and it gives you another candle formation. So this is a very good kind of bullish engulfing formation right over here. So you can go ahead and try taking that as well, because again, there's TL confirmation, there's TDI confirmation, there's MACD confirmation, right? So you can go ahead and take that trade on the break right there, and you would have gotten about 1.9 R, almost 2 R right there. So two kind of signals right over here. You have the level 1, right? You have the level 1 signal right over here, and then you have the level 2 right over here, right? So you can see kind of the shift, and then the upshift right over here. TDI confirmation on both signals right over here. So relatively really good signals right over here. That's telling you that, hey, I want to go up. It's a good indication that price actually wants to go up right there. So you can see how the TDI confirmation is in both ends, at least both signals right over here. Nasdaq 100 is starting to come back down, which is a bit unfortunate, but I do think it's going to come back higher. We're just a little bit choppy right now because of the 15-minute chart, right? So we're just going to have to wait on that. But on this standard setup, I took it on this specific trade frame, and the reason why I took it on this one is because I could very kind of, I guess, hold this trade much more longer than I would on the scalping system. The scalping system, I need to be really attentive 24/7, right? So on the specific system, I could just trade it, entry, put an entry on it, and put my stop loss in it, and not kind of look at it too much, which is completely different from the scalping system. So since I was looking at other things at once, like I was looking at the Euro JPY trade frame, I was looking at the Russell, I just took this trade frame on this specific system. But you can see here that there's really two entries right over here, and this specific scalping system gives you more risk reward, more execution R than I would have if I took in like this trade, for this trade 1.3 R right over here. Interesting. So we're kind of coming back down right now. Yeah, it's choppy, like I said again, so you have to kind of just be careful with it. But I do think eventually it's going to come back higher, right? It's just choppy right now at the current moment. It's because of the liquid 50. Like, whenever the liquid 50 is like this, you're going to see choppiness toward the upside. So that's something that I really didn't like about the Nasdaq 100. And it's something that I really like about the Russell 2000 is the 50-minute, like, liquid 50 is just perfect right there. You can see how it just made that V shape right there. So really good V shape right there. So I knew that eventually, like, it was a breakout. It was keen for a breakout toward the upside, right? So you can see here literally it's up 1.54% for the day. which is literally insane. So the Russell is beating all the indices right now. So that's where basically I made most of my money today. Because of that move. So yeah, just very kind of just being observant on. I was looking at this in the morning. I knew how all the indices liquid 50 was looking, and so I look at the liquid 50 specifically for momentum, because that can tell me like a shift of momentum, and it can tell me like a bias for what the traders are looking for, what the kind of higher time frames and lower time frames traders are looking for. So yeah, very good kind of trade on the Russell. Nasdaq is just basically kind of just doing its thing. So I may get out of break even right over here. I have my stop loss at break even. So we'll see what we do here. So in this level 2, you would have gone stopped out at break even, but you would have gone about 1.72 execution R on that, which is fairly pretty good. Yeah, if I get stopped out at break even, it is what it is. You know, I'm completely fine with it. I did take some profit off the top, not too much, but again, it's choppy, so I know that eventually it's gonna come back up. I'm not really 100% certain about it. I just have a really good kind of indication that it may continue going higher. We're just looking at choppiness right now. So yeah, I just got stopped out at break even right now on the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq did not treat me really well today. It is what it is. It's still about 9:16 a.m. So I started trading about at around 8:30. So it's been like 40 minutes already. So I'm pretty much done for the day because, at least for right now, because I already made my goal right now. So I'm actually chilling right now. Like I said again, it's choppy, so we're gonna see kind of a continuation toward the upside, at least in my opinion. Eventually, but right now it's just choppy right now. So whenever you see the liquid 50 doing this, it's not good. And now the liquid 50 is starting to come back down, so that's fairly not good, right? That's something that you definitely do not want to see at all. Whenever liquid 50 is starting to come down like that, so we're trying to curl back up, but now we're seeing kind of a, you know, eh. So eventually, in my opinion, I think eventually we'll come back up. We'll see. Because we saw a fairly good bounce right over here off this level. So I think we're going to come back down and eventually bounce back up. But we shall see again. And if it comes back up, I'll take an entry again toward the upside. I'm just going to be patient with it. I'm not needing to rush on it too far, too hard. So I took a 1/4% of a loss. I took this as at a 0.5% on the second entry. So I got I think I'm at break even right now for the day on my MT4 account, which is fine. I don't really mind, because I know that it's just being patient, and then as well as looking for confirmation, and eventually, like if I see an entry later on the day, which it tends to happen a lot. Like usually, like 8 out of 10 times, you're gonna see an entry on the end of the day or in the afternoon toward the upside, because the Nasdaq likes to kind of basically move in trends. So in the market open, you see a big trend, then you see kind of a choppiness, and then another big trend on like the afternoon or whatever, and then another big drop, and another big trend toward the end of the session. So usually you're going to see kind of a lot of kind of trendy moves on the Nasdaq. But I mean, that's pretty much it for today, to be honest, because I'm done for the day. Like I said again, I'm up $605 for the day, which is pretty good. I'm cool about that. I'm happy about that. I traded kind of the pair that I thought, you know, was really significant today, and that I thought that it was gonna find like a lot of potential moves toward the upside. So you could see here, right? You could see kind of like the whole move that I took. So, oh crap. So you can see here that I bought here, closed here for a quick scalp right over here. So this is on the 5-minute chart. So bought here, close here. Maybe I can go the 1 minute. Yeah, let's look at the 1 minute. because that's better. So yeah, I bought here, closed here for a quick scalp. And then eventually it was starting to chop out, and then on the breakout again, I took it again right over here, bought here, closed here, bought here again on the low, especially on this dip on the Bollinger Band mean in RO10, bought here again, right over here, and then basically I added in right over here for a quick skeleton entry. Then I closed in right over here, closed here, and that was basically it. So you know, fairly, I bought most of my kind of positions at this specific level right over here, bought here, and so it was a good kind of I would say good dip buy, just because of how, again, the Russell was starting to come back up higher for the day, and then you can see kind of again. So this is on the dip on the, I took this on the 30-second, but you can see here kind of a if you go here and put like a little rectangle, you can see kind of again, this is kind of a bullish engulfing formation, right? So that's a bullish engulfing formation right over here. So it as it comes down off that level, bounce like really high off that level right there. So I took that entry right over here. No TDI confirmation, no MACD confirmation on this one. This is just basically my scalping, like kind of like a very aggressive scalping strategy on my futures account, and I use it for correlations with my other scalping systems. So usually if I'm taking the scalping system, my scalping system, I'll take it on the 1-minute chart and on the 5-minute chart. But since I'm trading on such really low time frames like the 15-second and the 10-second chart, I'm looking for really quick buys. I'm looking for counter formations, looking for deep buys. I'm using this particular system, which is Dr. Kinlong system, bounce system. So I use it for bounces and continuations on this specific one, but I use my other systems for correlations, and I knew it specifically on looking at the 15-minute chart on Russell that we're gonna come back higher for the day. We had like a really good powerful breakout move from what I was looking at, so I knew that eventually like we're gonna see really powerful moves. So you know, could I have done better on this specific indice? Yeah, I could have done definitely better on this specific indice, but I'm happy with it. I'm not really trying to kind of catch every move that I see, because again, once I'm done with my daily profit, once I have my daily goal, I'm just usually out. You know, there's no need to overtrade, because usually if I do that, I lose money. Like if I chase every single move that I see, I lose money at the end of the day. So for me, from like years of trading, I know that okay, once I made money, I'm out. You know, I live to trade another day, so there's no need for me to chase more moves and make, you know, more money. All right, this is kind of my full-time job, so this is my full-time job. So I'm not looking to kind of swing the fences and, you know, basically like lose like big money or whatever. So but yeah, that it is what it is. Trade frame on that. Russell looks like it's trying to come back down, so we're seeing a bit choppiness. So on that specific trade, but yeah, so it is what it is. So yeah, you can see how I traded off these bounces right over here. So I traded off this bounce specifically right over here. That's kind of the again, that was the kind of formation that I showed you guys on the Russell, right? So this is this same thing. Let me show you guys again. So this is the same bounce, right? Same bounce right over here. So I use counter formations off my scalping system for kind of giving us a really good indication buy, but I didn't use a TDI. I didn't use like the TDI and MACD for like, you know, as soon as it comes up, that's as soon as I does that, I take it as a confirmation. I didn't take that, but you can see here that on that specific entry, you can see how the MACD came all the way back down and back into summer mode right over here. So I mean, I wasn't too focused on the TDI MACD on that specific scalp, because I was just looking to get in and out really fast. But you can see that the MACD, there was confirmation. On the TDI, there wasn't, because of how the liquid 50 was starting. It was pretty high from right over here. So, but eventually it did give me a confirmation back higher up over here. So you can see, yeah, it's close enough. So you could fairly say it's very close enough for a kind of a scalping, a level 1, basically a level 1 reset toward the upside, because the level 1, the primary level 1 is right over here, and then once it resets right over here, you can call this a level 1 reset, right? So it comes all the way back high, and so if I took that entry on my MT4 account, or if I just held that, I would have made about 4.2 R on that specific trade. But again, I was just looking for scalps. Usually whenever I'm trading on my future account and trading it on the 10-second and 15-second chart, it just moves really fast. So I'm just trying to get in and out really fast on that future account. So, but again, you can kind of see how I use my systems, all my systems, and I correlated that into my trades today. So just basically, I use different systems for correlations on like the entry types, and as well as different kind of entries. So if I really want to take a pullback entry or a breakout entry, or if I want to take kind of a aggressive, really kind of momentum entry, I have different systems for that, right? So yeah, so you can see kind of a correlation on all my systems, on my scalping systems, because that's important to me. Whenever I'm trading momentum, I definitely want to have kind of a correlation on my systems, because again, I'm trading momentum. I'm trading kind of like bounces, breakouts, pullbacks, or whatever. So momentum is definitely important to me. So that's why I use indicators. That's why I use kind of like formations, counter formations, or whatever. But yeah, it looks like the Russell is coming back down right over here. Looks like the Nasdaq is coming back down too. So we could literally see basically a reversal right now. So it will make sense because of how the liquid 50 is starting to come down right over here. Yeah, right now we're in a sell zone right now. So I don't know, it's not fairly good. So we're literally just trying to break off the lows right now on the Nasdaq. So that's not really a good sign. So we'll see. We're not seeing that V-shaped formation anymore. So for right now, it does seem possible that it will break toward the low and come back lower toward the 200 EMA. And you can see here on the Nasdaq that we're making lower high. So a lower high right over here, right? Lower high, and lower high right over here. So again, lower highs, liquid 50 is falling, so the momentum, the bullish momentum is starting to decrease, and now we're seeing kind of more of sellers' interest on the Nasdaq right now on the 15-minute time frame. So that's something to say, okay, maybe we could see a breakout right over here toward the low. Which if it does that, I don't really mind. I may go ahead and try maybe trading a collapsing dragon right over here toward the short side. But it is what it is, so we'll see. I'm not really looking to chase any trades right now. So I'm basically done for the day until I find like another entry that's really good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Nasdaq right now, we're in profit, just slight profit right now. I mean, use JPY. So swing trade frame right over here. I'm looking to go all the way down to a 200 EMA. I'm looking to lock myself a break even at 1R, and then basically close some of my profits at 1R as well. So yeah, we'll see what it does on UJ for tonight and tomorrow. But again, this is a swing trade that I'm taking right now. And yeah, we'll see what we do here. So I'm fairly confident that this thing will come back lower, because we're off a significant level in the higher time frames, and we're making kind of lower highs right over here. So I do think that eventually it's going to come down to at least the 200 EMA. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Dogecoin is coming back up toward the high. We're up about 8 cents right now, so we'll see what it eventually does. Yeah, we'll see how the Russell reacts right now, so we'll look at that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know I've been all over the place. It's kind of a busy kind of live stream and kind of trading session, so I've been literally looking at Forex, looking at like Nasdaq, Russell, whatever. So it's been kind of hectic for me. You can see how Euro JVP has finally come down, and now it looks like it's trying to maybe come down lower, back toward the low right now. So we'll see what we do here in Euro JVP. We have no entry signal yet, right? So we have kind of like the RSI starting to rise slightly, but we're not seeing any entry signal off this level right over here. So that's something to be careful with. You're only looking for scalps if you see an entry signal off the significant EMA, the 800 EMA. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Hopefully you guys are having a freaking awesome day. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the stream. I know the stream was kind of hectic today, but it is what it is. And yeah, hopefully you guys are having a freaking awesome day. Leave a like, check out the course if you guys are interested. I'm going to be adding so much more features to the course right now. I'm going to be adding markups as well as live trades, as well as kind of more kind of detailed versions of kind of entries, exits, and checklists, and etc. So yeah, check that out if you guys are interested. Let me know. The price will be increasing soon. You know, it will be increasing soon. I believe it's going to be increasing soon after I hit 50 people, 50 traders, 50 more traders. So you know, I'll increase the price, especially before I leave toward my military training. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll see you guys later. All right, peace. Yes, sir. UJ is tanking. I'm looking at that right now. Yes, sir. And that's the power. That's the power of you know, bouncing off really significant levels on the higher time frames. So keep an eye on UJ, guys. Really good, kind of. For me, I'm up already in profit right now, so looking really good for my trades right now on UJ. So I'm up about holy crap, I'm up already about 1%. At least on my account. Because I took it at 1.5%, looks like.